Hey, what's up? My name is Taclys, and today I'm going to be recording a tutorial. I'm going to be trying to be a little bit quiet because I have family over, but you know, you gotta record when you gotta record. So I'm going to be redoing my very simple shops tutorial because it's gotten some activity recently and it looks like maybe it's broken or outdated or something like that. Anyways, I can do a better job on it now. So as you can see, we have two different types of shops. We have health shops and we have a gun shop, and it tells you what it is and for how much. And for this one, if you touch it, you will buy it. And for these ones, you have to interact with them to buy it. So this is super simple. I'm going to grab these coins. I'm going to let him hit me a little bit. Alright. So obviously health and a weapon are the two solutions for when you get beat up by an enemy. So for this one, I'm going to just touch it. And I've purchased health, and it's completely healed me. This one, I'm going to interact with it. And I've purchased the SMG. And then I can make short business of my enemy. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to do both of those shops. This is a very simple tutorial. Don't worry. So even though I use the SMG, any equipable item you can use. So let's do the Codian dagger because I can't get enough of this beautiful thing. So here is our equipable object. Now, a few settings that we have to change first. Go into the properties, go into the physics, turn this to fixed. Next, we need to go into the brain. Most equipable weapons will have a brain that's similar to this, and we have to get rid of that. So, starting from here, first what we're going to do is we're going to make it turn slowly. Turn or yaw, either one, slowly. This will make the items spin around, and will make it kind of signify that it's not just a normal object in this world. Next, we're going to have it tell the player what its value is when it's detected. So when detect player, and there's a couple ways we could do this. We could go to display, text above, or we could do say text without box. So I'm going to do the say text without box just to show you guys the different ways that you can do it. Move my keyboard. Let's see. Purchase Codian dagger for 10 coins. Okay, it's a good idea to be pretty detailed about that. Now, if we just leave it in say, we'll get a big text box around it, which looks okay on its own, but if it's next to other shop items, it doesn't look good. Now, we don't need to put above. Actually, we need to put without frame. Next, what we're going to do, for this shop, we're going to make it bumped. So when bump player, now we're going to create a child line of code. To create a child line of code, you select the number and you bump it to the right, which means that this line of code won't run until this line of code is met. Now, as a rule of thumb, one of the big things that differentiates beginner and intermediate tutorials is the use of variables. Now, I'm going to be using a variable here because it's the only reasonable way to do this. But if you don't understand it, don't worry, just follow the tutorial. Someday you will understand it. Before we do this, though, we should grab the coin model, and everyone has this model. Default model that comes with the game. Place the coin and open the brain. Long story short, what we're doing here is that when you open this brain for the first time, it creates this Boolean or this numeric variable called coin counter. We will be using that. So delete that coin. It is important that you open it at least once, though. We'll get back to that in just a second. So then what we're going to do is we're going to make an object variable called player. You could also call it buyer, purchaser, whatever. Equals it. Now, because we're doing it this way, and there's other ways you can do it, but this way, this shop is compatible with multiplayer. Next, we're going to do switch page, next page. Now, I'm going to copy and paste this line of code here, which if you don't know how to copy and paste, left trigger is copy. We're going to bump over to the next page, right trigger is paste. That way, it keeps yawing even if we switch pages. So, we're going to do started to, oh, I forgot one rather important step. We need to establish how many coins our player has. So what we're going to do is that this works as a placeholder for whatever bumped our object. So what we're going to do is when, oh, looks like I have a bunch of object variables. When player, and now we're going to go back to that coins. When player coin counter is greater than or equal to 10, then it will go to the next page when it's bumped. If you have less than 10 coins, then nothing will happen when you bump it. You could create another line of code for if you have less than 10 coins, it makes an error sound, but we're not going to worry about that. On this page, we're going to do started to our player. Now, something that's worth mentioning, I happen to have a player lowercase and a player uppercase. These two won't talk to each other. So you need to be sure that whatever variable you're using has to be the same capitalization and everything. Player equip Codian dagger. If you had a custom weapon that was in your world, you could use the in-world picker. But we're just going to use this for now. We're also going to do started to player coin counter, and this is where they get charged for it. So decrement by 10. I've gotten in the habit of just typing in numbers because my Terminal Island world has like 5 pages of decimal numbers, so it's just faster to type in the number. You could just bumper over to it if you wanted. Then we're going to do, this time we're going to do display. Display purchased dagger above. And then countdown timer 3. Now this is where we get to decide if we're going to make this a recurring purchase or a one-time only purchase. Items like this, I would highly recommend one-time only purchase, because if they keep bumping into it time after time after time, then they'll keep spending money and they'll keep dropping daggers on the ground. But if it's a one-time purchase, then the dagger is just poof gone and it's in their hand now. So then we can do, since we're going to make this a one-time purchase, we're going to do destroy. Now you could do with effect, but I would rather disguise that the object isn't gone already. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to appearance, visible equals false. This way when you bump it, it disappears from the game and it appears in your hand. Alright, sound good? Let's give it a quick try. Don't worry, modifying this code to be recurring purchase is super easy. So, purchase Codian dagger for 10 coins, bump that, and the dagger is mine. Now I did notice one small issue is that I wanted the text, the purchase confirmed text, to appear above our player. So we'll copy the player variable, put it there. Alright, now I'm going to copy and duplicate this, and this one we're going to set up for recurring. So rather than destroy, well, first let's take out the visible equals false because we want it to stay apparent, but then after 3 seconds we simply switch page to the previous page. Simple as that. It's a recurring purchase. Let's try that. Let's grab some coins. Should just enough for 2 purchases. So purchase once. Oh, I purchased it twice. But that one that dropped on the ground, that's the one that I was holding. So grab that, equip that again, and mess the goblin up. Alright, so now let's say that you wanted this shop not to be bump, but you wanted it to be interact. Don't worry, it's super easy to do, because a lot of games have interacting in them, but occasionally you'll have a game that is too simplistic for even interacting, and I've made some of those worlds. So rather than when bump player, you just remove those 2 lines of code and put when interacted. Everything else stays exactly the same. So give that one more test and we should be good to go. So there we go. Grab our coins, run over, purchase it, and now it is mine. Now I can also do a reoccurring purchase here, like that, but now that I'm out of coins, I can't buy any more daggers. Sad face. But if I were to go in here, as you may have seen from my interaction tutorial, I have an excessive chest, which allows me to get tons and tons of coins. That's probably enough. Whatever, I'll just let them pile up now. Now, I could bump this, and it'd be gone, but I'd drop the one I was holding, and I could bump this one, and keep bumping it, and it would just keep spending my coins, and keep spawning daggers. So, I hope that this tutorial was helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I know that there were some questions on this tutorial, and I had posted this tutorial, it has to be close to a year ago now. So this is a more solid tutorial. It has a few more options in it. It looks a little nicer. It works better in general. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.